you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers. Do you ever feel like you might be living in the wrong decade? What about the first impression that your new customers of tomorrow find when they discover your brand? Staying current and being current is essential if you want to win in the current. And so I'm super excited to bring our guest today, who is a longtime friend, an incredible business owner, and one of our favorite clients, to come and talk about the fact that your branding needs to be current, and if it doesn't, it's costing you more business than you would like. So welcome to our show, Christie Wengranowski. Super excited to have you here.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
I love this conversation so much. So let's just tackle this first right at the very beginning. How do we know when it's time to really give a fresh perspective of our first impression?
Oh, great first question. So, there's always little telltale signs. And I will say a lot of people first notice with their website. And it could be little things like it's not working the way it used to. Your contact form isn't getting submissions anymore. Or it could just be that people are saying, hey, I can't find the information I need. That's an easy sign to look for because we're all using websites today. But the other truth is if you haven't actually updated anything, whether it's your website, your brochure, any of your marketing materials that you're sending out in 3 or more years, that right there tells you it is time to do something.
I think that this is a good marker, and 3 years is not that old. And I think that people really think that we do marketing once, we buy the package, whatever it looks like, a website, a business card, maybe a header or logo, and we just set it aside. Yeah. And truthfully, while some things are old and new again, your brand can't look dated. So how do we actually decide where to start if we know we've just been called out because our stuff has been dated from 1980?
Well, so for everybody, it's going to be different. And so what we like to do at Flying Horse is analyze everything before you're marketing. So we want to look at starting at the basics like your visibility and asking the question, where are you being found? Is it just online? Is it through networking groups? Are you on different association websites? And kind of seeing if there's any problems or cracks in that area. And after that, it's also important to take a look at the look and feel of everything. How does it look? How does it sound? Is it saying the right things? Is it actually showing your value as the business today versus where you were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Trust me, we get people that haven't touched their stuff in 10 years, and you can imagine the state that it's in. So it's really a process of figuring out where the actual problem lies and then figuring out what needs to be done first. And that's something that we have a very specific process for. And I walk my clients through it one step at a time because it can be overwhelming. If everything looks messy, you can't fix it all at once. You have to get clear on what's the most important thing to fix and then go there first.
I think one of the coolest things your business specifically does is helps people understand when is a Band-Aid good enough and when do we need open heart surgery. So you particularly have a business that is an expert at the refresh. Mm-hmm. So talk to us, what is a refresh and when do we know we actually need it?
Okay, so I'm going to share a very quick story because I think sometimes that helps people understand a little bit better. We had a client come to us who's been a client for, 15, 16 years now. And we had been band-aiding fixing her website for quite some time because it was little things. And the little things, you're like, we're not going to worry too much about them. We'll get them fixed and we carry on. But we were starting to find more and more things. And at that point, you're like, how many band-aids does one website need to have in order to keep functioning? And so I came to a conclusion with her that we needed to have a conversation. I said, look, we can do one of two things. The website isn't working for you anymore. You can't use it well on a phone. People are struggling even on desktop to get it to work. So let's talk about that. And I asked her very specific questions about how the website was actually helping her with her business. And when she shared with me what she had to do with the website information to run her classes at her facility, I was shocked at how much time she was spending. So it was very clear at that point that the Band-Aids were actually not helping her move her business forward. They were actually keeping her very stuck and keeping her very busy with work she didn't need to be doing. So I said to her, we have two options. One, we can rebuild your website to look exactly how it is so that it works on desktop and some of those little things are fixed. Or we can have a real conversation about how we can rebuild a brand new website that can actually save you time. And that's what we did. Now it cost twice the price, but now she is saving literally like 10 to 15 hours of admin time every month, if not more. So those are the sorts of things that we have to look at, is how much band-aiding can something happen? And especially for a website, you don't want them to become Frankensteins because it becomes a really big problem really fast.
I know one of the most important business expense conversations I was advised right when I started my business is there's a lifespan for your business website. Mm-hmm. It could be 3 to 5 years, but you should plan for a major overhaul in that window of time frame, because you're right. You can change graphics, you can add pages, but at some point things get clunky, things might not be functioning. And in today's world, with the changes of the way people are searching, shifting from SEO to GEO and actually making sure your website can be found and looks good in the digital space, is a time for a refresh. And you've been working with a lot of clients on talking through this key reason to start the conversation. Is it all sizzle, or is there actually substance here?
There's a ton of substance there. Technology changes so quickly, and it always has in the web world. So that's not a surprise, I think, to too many people. But we have seen such a huge jump with the inclusion of AI in how we do business and how it's actually helping us. And, even some of the ways it might not be helping us. But the reality is, it is here, it is not going anywhere, and we need to adapt all of our digital stuff so that it aligns with it and we're not missing out on opportunities. I think you even said recently that, you were finding yourself coming up more in AI. Another client that I work with, she was shocked to see how, I think just last week, she got a new client. They found her through a ChatGPT query. So it is happening, it is here, and we don't want to miss out on those opportunities. But, yes, you should be keeping your website specifically up to date all the time, especially if you're on a platform like WordPress where there are software updates. Letting those go by the wayside can be hugely detrimental to your business, especially if you are using your website for any kind of e-commerce. That can really, really kill your business if your site goes down even for one day.
Yeah, I'm curious for you, because I think when we look at websites that maybe are older than 3 years or older than 5 years or certainly older than that, we were not as focused on the importance of being mobile friendly or really designing with mobile in mind. And I think when people do buy websites, sometimes the conversation they don't know to ask is, what platform do you build on first? But for you, is a redesign needed if you're not mobile friendly, or is that something that is more of a Band-Aid level?
It can be a Band-Aid, and sometimes you need to Band-Aid it while you solve the bigger problem. So that's the real reality. Depending on your business and the urgency, we quite often will say to a client, hey, we know you need to fix something right now so that your business doesn't suffer, but the bigger problem needs to be fixed of getting you a new website for XYZ reasons. So that's the time where we might do a combo approach. But, or a Band-Aid might say 6 months. We need 6 months just until you've done X, Y, and Z. So we, it could be content, like getting photos and videos. So there's sometimes are things that need to be done before we do the complete rebuild. However, sometimes there isn't. So it really is going to depend on the business and what their level of urgency is and the severity of their problem.
And guys, this is where you don't decide you're an expert and you don't decide what's needed because you Googled it or you ChatGPT'd it or Clauded it, whatever platform you like to go now is your magic 8-ball. You really do need to be working with Flying Horse and their design team to say what's needed when, here's the pros and cons, and here's what the runway looks like to get you operational. Because every day you put your head in the sand, you run the risk of lost business. Mm-hmm. And our attention economy is so dynamic in the current world. I'm curious for you, when you're building processes and when you're helping people figure out the refresh strategy, how do we decide to eat the elephant one bite at a time? Walk us through what the steps are. What do you guys do? How do we win together?
All right. So the very first question that we need to uncover together is, who are you today? I need clarity from people in terms of who they are, who their business is serving, how they're serving. And we need to be really, really clear on what their value proposition is, because if you are not clear and if you are not finding out a way to stand out above others in your industry, you're losing right there. It doesn't matter how good your website looks. It doesn't matter if you're coming up number one on Google. If there's no wow factor as to why you are the must hire over all the other options out there, it's not money well spent. So we have to get really clear on that first. Then we have to think about, what is the aesthetic that matches that? So visual is so important. Unless you are visually impaired, you are judging by the way it looks. And anybody that says otherwise is lying. You go to the grocery store or the liquor store is a great example. You want to buy a nice bottle of wine to take to dinner. If you don't know anything about wine, you look for the label that you think that the person you're going to would find funny or attractive. You don't necessarily buy the most expensive or the cheapest. You look for the one that you're like, oh, Sally would love that. That's such a cute design. Or Henry would think that this bottle of scotch is lovely because it's got this sexy, sleek look. We are visual human beings. So how it looks matters. And it also communicates value. If Lexus or Audi or or BMW had a really crappy looking website or logo, you wouldn't think that they're selling you high-end vehicles. You would question that. So it's really about creating a look and feel that tells the story of the value. Is it a luxury item? Is it a middle of the road item? Is it a cheap and cheerful consumable item? It really has to tell this story visually before you even get to the words. But the words matter too. So don't discount what it says, because once you get past the pretty, you have to have substance. So after we've kind of established how we want it to look, now we need to establish how we want it to sound and how it's going to differentiate from the rest. So those are the really core foundational pieces that you need before you even start building out the sitemap. And then that's the next piece, is what do we need on a website? What do we need even in the print materials that's going to be able to communicate the value, how we help, how to contact us most importantly, and how to reach a free resource, whatever sort of funnel that is going to help the business move forward. So those are, there's always a little bit of variation with each client, but that's sort of the rough process that we take to get the clarity that we need to actually get started. And while the design is our favorite piece, it's actually not the most important piece. It's all of the thinking and the building behind the scenes that is so important. The design is the icing on top.
Yeah, the foundations are so important. It's funny you talk about contact and we giggle about it because you and I have had so many conversations. We ran an event earlier this spring and we kind of just took a snapshot of the people that are registered for it. We went and looked at their websites. We looked about their businesses, and a good 80% of them never had phone numbers that we could contact. They never had clear instructions of where they were in the world. And I was just looking at a postcard today that I picked up at an event for somebody I really want to engage with. I can't find a phone number, a contact, or a website listed on it. And I'm like, I'm going to be phoning 3 friends because I'm so interested. I'm going to phone 3 friends and say, the person that was the chiropractor who spoke on stage, she was dressed in green, talk about being visual. Do you know her name? Because I want to contact her, and this postcard that I took away is not helping me create that dot. Mm-hmm. And one thing I've seen, talk about the refresh and the design, big changes that are needed. One of the things I've heard in my network from a lot of ghostwriters is that they're cleaning up the AI slop that's going out there. So people have thought, I can just write a book, I'll put in 5 things, ChatGPT or Claude or somebody will write my book, and then they go, wow, it's garbage. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if you're seeing the same phenomenon, which is necessitating not, I don't just need a Band-Aid because I had an AI website, but now it's really time to have a human with the logic and the foundations win. What are you guys seeing on the industry?
So I would say the biggest thing that I'm noticing, and I can't speak for everybody in my industry, of course, people are going to check out AI first. They're absolutely doing it because they're curious, they're interested. Some of them want to see if they can do it themselves. Others just kind of want to play around with it because they want to idea generate. And usually what happens, and I would say I've seen it at least 10 times in the first part of 2026, they don't get what they want. They get frustrated. They send us all of these things that AI spat out for them. And they said, well, we kind of like this. This is sort of the direction we want to go, but we can't get it to look how we want. We can't get it to sound how we want. And, I think the most recent one with a website was actually just something that was created on a platform called Lovable. And it is a prototype website. It's not a website that the client wanted to completely build out. But it did give him clarity. It allowed him to explore what he wanted. So that was value for him. He thought if he could do the discovery up front for himself, he could come to me with a clear idea of what he wanted. Now, AI can be very helpful in terms of, idea generation, giving us opportunities to play, but it is not a solution for everything. So just as a quick thing for people that don't know yet, when you pay somebody to do a logo, not only are you getting their expertise and the ability to have conversations with another human, but you're also getting all the proper files that you need. Right now, if you go to ChatGPT and have a logo designed, you get a flat image. And while that may be useful temporarily, if you ever wanted to put that on a big sign, or you wanted to get car decals made, or you wanted to have it embroidered, that file type will not allow you to do most things that you need to do with it. So what ends up happening is you need to hire a graphic designer to vectorize it for you. So that's a big thing that may change down the road, but right now you're kind of stuck with what you get, and there's only so far you can take it. The same goes with sales sheets. We get a lot of people that are like, hey, okay, we did a sales sheet in ChatGPT, but we need all these edits. And then you ask Chat to do them, and it changes the whole aesthetic.
And it breaks the whole thing.
Breaks the whole thing. So people get very frustrated. They think they're saving time, and before they know it, they've wasted an entire day talking to AI and not getting what they want. Whereas they could have spent 30 minutes talking to somebody on our team and get exactly what they want in an editable format that they can grow over the course of time.
And that's where I think is so key. If your brand has become dated and your brand no longer reflects the kinds of clients you serve today, the quality of the work, the aesthetic that's current, it is so important that you work with an expert, a professional who can guide you to what is the vision and how do we invest smart dollars in a strategic way to get you something that will last for the next 3 to 5 years. Because where we started this conversation is if your stuff is older than that, you're out of luck and out of pocket. The same will be true in the future. And I think to your point about AI, it's not there yet. And may it be there? Could be. We will absolutely expect it to get better. But I have seen that because we built, again, starting out of the gates, $500, $1,000 investments. And there's a time and a place to say, absolutely, we need Flying Horse at the table. We're ready to do this. We need smart decisions, and we need somebody to guide us with decades of experience. Here's the time to spend. Here's the order to spend. And here's what you get that is truly an original that reflects your brand. So I think what you guys do is amazing. I think that people should be absolutely connecting with you. Before I ask you to share your contact details, I want to ask this question because I think it's fascinating. For you right now, how does Flying Horse Design Studio build business? Because you guys have been in the business world for many, many, many years. You actually do still have a storefront. People can come in and meet with you in person. And guys, this is not this, I've never met them. You can't do this in real life. Like, these are real people with real places. But for you, what's winning right now to make you current in the marketplace?
The biggest thing that's winning for us, and has kind of always been the thing for us, is getting into different rooms, meeting people face to face. So I am a member of our local Chamber of Commerce. I, this summer, am booked in to get to an event every week. I need to meet more people locally. I need to meet more people across the globe. And, being in physical spaces is really fun for me, but I'm always looking for rooms to be in with the right type of client, the right type of connections, because it's not just about trying to, get a job or, a new client from these meetings. It's about building those connections where you can get the referrals, finding your next joint venture partner. I have a few of those right now. The joint venture partners have been really, really key to my success, but so has showing up in different rooms and making connections and then nurturing them. And I can't nurture all of them. Some of them are not a fit, but the ones that I do nurture, they pay big time. I just got a really great opportunity from a client in Chicago a colleague in Chicago for something that we can work on together. And so it does pay off to build the relationships. And I will also say it has to be a strategic part of your prospecting plan. You need to allocate time every week to nurture those relationships, because if you let them die off any opportunity will die off. You can't guarantee that someone's going to keep you top of mind for the next time they run across somebody that needs your help. So I strategically make sure I stay in connection with the right people, and it works.
I think one of the best tips I'm going to add, because I think this is so important, when you're in person, you need to bring physical material with you. Guys, we are visuals. Most people buy with visual things. And if you have a good, whether it's a business card, a leaflet about your business, and it is quality designed, quality paper, and texturized, they will keep it. And that is marketing dollars well spent. So I just wanted to have a soapbox moment there, because I watched it at the last event I was in, which interesting was also in Chicago, and everyone's like, why did you design this new stuff? I'm like, they're like, I love this. And I'm like, this is something I can take in every suitcase with me, and it wins both short term and the long term. So invest in quality materials that are printed, because guys, well, QR codes are great. They don't always function. And there's nothing worse than missing a business opportunity because you can't make your tech run. So Christie, where do people find you? Tell us all about it.
I have really leaned into my LinkedIn this year, so that is one of the easiest places to find me. You can check out the content that I'm putting out. I'm very excited. I'm launching a really cool series this summer, because we all want to be on summer holidays, but as business owners, we also need to keep our pulse on our business, making sure that it doesn't die off. So if you'd like to come follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram as well, Flying Horse Design Studio, but on LinkedIn, you will see these articles. There will be 7 weeks of great tips. They take 15 to 30 minutes to do for yourself, and they'll help you start to pinpoint where you might need to put a little more effort into your branding and your marketing. And I think that people are going to find this stuff really, really fascinating and really simple and easy to keep them going, so that they don't hit September in a panic going, oh my God, I totally didn't do anything all summer, and now I've got this big pile of stuff to deal with. So come find me there. You can also check out my website, although stay tuned, a new one is coming in the very near future. So if you want to check it out now and then check it out in a couple of weeks when the new one's ready to go, you'll see the brand refresh we're doing for ourselves.
Guys, this is about walking your talk. If you want to win businesses today, I think the most important thing you need to remember is go check your first impression. If it is not, I love it, it works, it represents, you should be flying horse, connecting to them, and getting to know Christie and the work and her team. Thank you for being here, my friend. It's awesome. Keep it up. Guys, it is time to stop the Band-Aids and do open heart surgery so that you win today and for the next 3 to 5 years, because there's a lot of business to be had and clients are there to buy. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit ChristineCampbellRapin.com/podcast